Hello you lot, Miller Corner here and welcome back to working on cars again. The bike series is finished for now. The ER5 will be getting a full reveal video in the very near future and can't wait for you to see it. It looks amazing. But for now we're back to working on little Italian nuggets, although not mine for once because my Seicento is still in storage, although it is coming out and going back on the road very soon. Again, we'll get to the turbo series, that's all to come. But we're talking about my brother's car today. The red Seicento, what was formerly the temporary daily, has got a problem. Something's broken. Now, it's not a blown up gearbox, not that I'd know anything about that. It's something more minor until you actually need it. The rear wiper's not working. I'm not one of these idiots that takes off their rear wiper and puts kill all wipers on their back window. I actually like having a rear wiper, so does my brother. It's a really useful feature. But again, it ain't useful if it doesn't work. Click the stalk on the steering column and you get no rear wiper. We've checked the obvious things, like we've checked the fuses, we've checked the wiring, and the motor doesn't appear to be dead, but nothing's actually happening. It won't wipe the rear window. And I've got a very good theory as to why. So normally the main way that the wiper works in your car is that there's a contact plate in the boot. It's actually here. So you've got these pins on the tailgate, and then when you put it down, it makes contact with the pins to make each individual function on your tailgate work. And that's things like the heated rear window, the rear window washer, and indeed the rear window wiper. On the red Seicento here, 1's okay, 2's okay, 3's a little bit gammy, 4 is not looking healthy. That looks like it's been properly smashed in by something. I can only assume at some point we've put something in the boot, slammed the boot lid onto it, and it's then punched that out of place. So that's the problem, but thankfully the solution is easy and quick. I'm going to give a quick shout out to Paul, who actually donated another plate for the rear end of the red Seicento to hopefully make that rear wiper work. So Paul, I know you watch my videos, thank you so much dude, really appreciate it. We've got a new contact plate here, so let's get the old one out, put this one in, and hopefully we've got a rear wiper again. Not that we're actually going to need it for now. Lift the tailgate up, and there's only one Phillips holding this panel on, so let's take her off, and that should then just wiggle away. Then we've just got 2 wiring loom plugs, which you should be able to see there. There we go. Come on. Of course, it pays to be incredibly butch and manly when doing this job. Come on. This is actually quite tight. Hold the line caller. We apologise for the delay. This is due to our operator being a bit of a twit. What is it? Is it like... It's burnt there, look. Christ. Would that be something to do with like wiring overload? Like if we'd had the heated rear window and the rear wiper and everything all at once, maybe that had cooked it? So yeah, I don't think that is ever going to fly again. It's just burnt or melted or something, we're not quite sure what, but either way the plug was never in hell coming out of that for love nor money. So that's going in the bin, and what we're going to do is effectively redo the wiring here. So we've got, these are the 2 plugs that were going to our connector. I've got some wire strippers here. Strip these back, we're going to put some new spade connectors on, then plug it into the new connector, which then goes on there. Then it should hopefully make the rear wiper work. This was literally going to be a 2-minute fix, but there you go. This is the reality of working on old cars. I did a bit of wiring for this on the bike with some new indicators, which again you'll see in the reveal video, and I have to say it's quite satisfying stuff because it's really simple but very effective. There's our snipped wire end. Here is our spade connector, which is the style that we're going with here. Push that onto there. Then we need these, which are wire crimpers. And what we do here, and squeeze as hard as you absolutely can. This is not to be done lightly because it takes quite a lot of force. That stays on there, and that's our new connector, which we can now test with our plate like that. And sure enough, where once there was no connector, now there is. So that works. And this isn't coming out regularly. It's not like this is going to get used plugged in and out like a USB cable does. So it doesn't have to be resistant to a lot of pulling and pushing, as it were. It just has to be tough. Don't be afraid to go really ham on it, really squeeze it in, because you don't want it coming out. It should be slightly flat. You might be able to see there that I've actually made it go flat. That's what you want, because that means it's then rigid in there. We've now got 2 spade connectors on our wiring where the old one was rusted or melted or just, in other words, knackered. So what we can now do is plug these 2 into our new connector. So brown went on that side like so, and black went on this side like so. Then the factory plug on the other side, because that does still work, can now go in there. But what I am going to do is a bit of contact cleaner, just to make sure she's all clean in there and fruity. And then we can go click. Nice, satisfying. Put the new plate in place like so. Tighten that screw up. So now let's find out if the rear wiper works. Everything is now crossed. Right, here we go. I don't know if this is going to work. This is genuine first test. Okay, ignition. And just for my own reference, the front wipers do work when you're not running the car. Come on, rear wiper. Yes! It works! Rear wiper, once again. Oh yes. Fun fact, that's known as a B-day, rear wash wipe. If Mr. Hubnut is watching, just one more bit of tasty rear wiper action for you there. Oh yes. Woo! Before anyone jumps in the comments, I did also insulate the new connectors as well. A bit of insulation tape on there just means things aren't going to short out. It's well worth doing if you can. Stops fires, and no one likes fires. So there we have it, rear wipe restored to the red Seicento, and even factoring in that knackered, burnt out, wet, rusty, whatever was wrong with that wiring and crimping on the new connectors, that still only took about 10 minutes. I'm calling that a win. Now you might have noticed that we didn't have any rear wash going on, and that's because there's something else with this car. A few months back the washer pump gave out and we didn't have a Seicento one spare sitting on the shelf, so we just ended up and stuck one off a Ford Transit on there just because we had one lying around, and it does work, but because it's only one channel on a Transit, it only actually washes the front. Long term for this car, next up we'll be doing that, putting a proper washer pump on it so we can wash the back window. My brother has got his driving test booked, but you might know if you live in the UK there's been a massive delay on getting driving test booked because of lockdown and stuff, so his test isn't booked until I think the end of September. So yes, he will be taking his test and I've got every confidence he's going to pass it, but not for at least a good few months. And in the interim, this mad little nugget keeps on being awesome, except now it's awesome with a rear wipe. So on that note, thanks very much for watching everybody, and have a brilliant rest of your day. Catch you soon and have a good one.